Hi, welcome to Victoria Knits. I'm Victoria. Whoa. Today is November 23rd. It's the day after Thanksgiving in the U.S. I hope you had a happy one if you celebrate it. I wanted to find some really pretty place to podcast. I was planning on going down to Little Bitterroot Lake where I've podcasted before, but with these overcast skies, the water is just gray and it wasn't much of a sight to see. Anyway, big deep breath. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to new viewers. Welcome to returning viewers. I really appreciate you. In the last episode, you saw, if you watched it, you saw Russell and I dye some yarn together. My grandson, Russell, my daughter and her family are living with us right now, in case you don't know. And so my grandson, Russell, and I end up doing some things together. And we dyed some yarn. And here we are showing off the socks I knit from that yarn.
Hey, can I see, so I can walk?
So you can walk and you can show your socks, right?
Yeah.
You like them?
I like them. Did you knit them? Are you done?
Yes. Let me get my socks on. Can you put your socks up here and show them?
Yeah.
Can you put them both up? Do you like that?
Yeah. Hey, want to get your socks?
Yeah. I'm going to get my socks on too. Here's my sock.
Here's my sock. I like my socks.
You like them?
Here's my sock.
There's your socks. Should we put our socks up together?
Yeah.
Can you get your foot up? Whoa!
Woo!
Can you put your foot up?
Yeah.
There you go. Up. Yeah! So I finished socks for Russell and I.
I finished socks for Russell and I.
Mm-hmm. And Russell, do you like your socks?
Yeah.
Are they pretty nice?
They're pretty nice.
Do they feel comfy?
Yeah.
They can keep your feet warm?
Yeah.
I love them.
And this sock is pretty good too.
Is that one pretty good too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like mine.
How is yours doing?
It's doing pretty good. What do you think?
How is this?
It feels pretty good.
How about mine?
I really like yours.
And what's this?
That's your heel.
And that's your shoe.
And that's my heel. That's right. That's my
And
heel.
that's another shoe.
And that's my other heel.
And no, that's my other shoe too.
That is. That's right. That's your other heel too. We had fun dyeing this yarn together. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We put green
Green
and yellow
and yellow
and black
and black
and orange.
and orange.
And I made us both some socks.
Both and some. Cheers.
Yeah.
How cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice job, Russell. Let's see. I have never said cheers to a pair of socks before, but that's what Russell wanted to do. I was really happy with the way the yarn knitted up. It striped really well. The pattern from J.L. Fleckenstein was super simple, and that was just fine with me. Something simple goes pretty quickly, and these certainly did, but I was really happy with them. And speaking of Halloween, which, these were for, we really had a lot of fun on Halloween. I got the inspiration for my costume from the Talosians, which were the first aliens that were encountered on the show Star Trek, which most of us are familiar with. I did elaborate on it a little bit. It was Kim and I made it out of paper mache, and I added some lights to it. It was a lot of fun to make. I was really impressed with our local volunteer fire department. They put on the haunted house, and so they were very involved in it. There was the room that I was in with my partner Bob, and we played a couple aliens who had crashed our spaceship, and the kids who came through the haunted house needed to help us reassemble something in order to help us leave. So that I think the kids really enjoyed doing that. They had a saloon area where the kids were able, with their guide, there was a guide that took them through the haunted house, where the kids sat down and had drinks and watched a gunfight. There was also a pirate ship, which, you know, had a big dramatic scene going at it. I didn't really get to see that, but it really looked like a lot of fun. And I was just really, really proud of our fire department for putting that on. My daughter Vanessa and her husband Chris, they dressed up as Princess Leia and Darth Vader, and Russell was Yoda again. And this year, of course, they had the addition of Nico as an Ewok. So recently I did a test knit of the Berry Bonnie Buffalo Plaid. It's a pattern by Wendy Prager Geckner, and this is the one I knit. I really liked it. I think it turned out really nice. So it includes a hat and fingerless mitts. Aren't those nice? And I have just a few words to say about this. Rail Line Tavern Christmas party wood stove. Enough said. Anyway, so the mitts and the hat, as you can tell, they come out plaid. It's a nice pattern. If you haven't done color work before, you might want to practice a little bit before you start this, but it's well worth it. It's a really nice pattern. I might just keep it on now because it's kind of chilly out here. Also, I want to tell you that through November 30th, this pattern for these two is $1. So you might go out and look for that. And FYI, I will include this now. You can find me on Ravelry as Victoria Jean, on Instagram as Victoria Jean W, and I have a Ravelry group for the podcast called Victoria Knits Podcast Ravelry Group. But you can go find this pattern for $1. Also, I will have it linked along with everything else below this podcast and in my Ravelry group. Wendy also has her Totally Tubular hat is for sale for $1 through December 15th. This pattern calls for size 5 and 6 needles on DK weight. I did these on size 2 and 4 needles, and I just used some Caron yarn that I had around. I really liked the green and the red because I wanted to wear them for Christmas time. I think they're really pretty. So yesterday, along with most of the people in the United States, we celebrated Thanksgiving. It was really nice. It was a very laid-back holiday. I'm glad that my daughter and her family were here. They made it seem like much more of a holiday. There's the Potato Man. Wave, Potato Man.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's you. I'm not
smells.
I smell the turkey.
What do you think?
Hey. 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 And if you'll remember from my last episode, I said I would give away 3 patterns for the Chill in the Air hand warmers by Wendy Prager Geckner that I wore in my last podcast. And so here is Russell to announce the giveaway winners. Can you say, Pat, you're the winner? Pat.
My winner.
Say, Pat, you're the winner.
Pat, whether you're the winner.
Okay. And can you say, Renna?
Winner.
Renna, you're the winner.
Winner, you're the winner.
And can you say, Crafty?
Crafty.
Crafty Mystic.
Crafty Mystic.
You're the winner.
You're the winner.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you, Russell. He really enjoys doing that, I think. And so if you 3 winners can please contact me on either Ravelry or Instagram, I will get that pattern out to you. Yesterday, on Thanksgiving Day, Russell and I sat down and talked about his modified flax sweater that I recently finished for him. Some of the patterns, the train and the tracks, are from the Miniature Stockings 3 by Darlene Swaim. The snowflakes and the R were just free downloads I found on the internet. Hey Russell, what do you have on?
I got the sweater one.
You like it?
Yeah.
Oh, don't you stand up and show it on the podcast. Oh, it's got, what's this?
It's a tree.
It is a train, and what's this? Track?
Jack.
Train track? And what are these?
Bells.
Snowflakes. Snowflakes. Very good, Russell. You like it? Oh, and what's on your shoulder here?
What?
What's that say? Look in there. Look in there. What's that say?
An R for Russell.
That is an R for Russell. Yes, it is. And look at this one I'm making for Nico.
Another train.
Another train. This will be for Nico, your little brother.
He's gonna wear it.
He's going to wear it. But I still have to put sleeves on it, don't I?
Yeah.
It needs sleeves, but I'll knit some sleeves on it. I better get to knitting.
Hey, what I do?
Snowflakes.
Snowflake. And what's on there?
What's on the back?
Yeah. Another train.
Another train.
And what's that? Another train. Another train.
Another train.
And what's on R?
Oh, he doesn't have an R. You know what Nico will get?
Yeah.
He'll get an N for Nico.
Yeah.
He doesn't get an R. He gets an N.
Where's the N?
Oh, I haven't made it yet, but I'll knit it here pretty soon. Okay?
I got it.
You're connected. You're connected. So I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving. We just had a nice Thanksgiving dinner, didn't we, Russell? Did you have some turkey?
Yeah. No.
No, you didn't, did you? You could have had some turkey. But there are lots of November holidays that could be celebrated. Not just you. Okay. Okay, we had a little adjusting to do. And my daughter Vanessa is joining us. So as I started to say, we just had a really nice Thanksgiving, but there are a lot of November holidays. There's Chicken Lady Day, which you should really look up. It includes a woman named Dr. Marthenia Tina Dupre. There's National Deviled Egg Day. There's National Bison Day. There's National Cappuccino Day. There's World Kindness Day, and my idea was for Russell and I to say nice things to each other, because Russell at times can be very good at that. and he likes to tell you that your hair looks nice, or he likes your pants. November 15th was National Clean Out Your Fridge Day. November 17th was International Survivors of Suicide Day. I guess they threw in a serious one. November 18th was National Princess Day, which is a Pamper Yourself Day. And then there was National Cake Day, National Pickle Day, and National Take a Hike Day. And I got a little prepared, and I made some deviled eggs and some pickles. And I thought it'd be fun if Russell and I tried them.
Look.
But I don't think Russell is going to try
What
any
are
pickles.
those?
I don't know.
Are those eggs?
Those are
and pickles?
eggs.
Yeah.
Should we try one?
You want to try one, Russell? Here, you want to lick one?
Oh.
So I think he's going to really enjoy his sweater. I have entered his flax sweater in the holiday gift craft along on the Cat Lady podcast group. That's Andrea. You might look her up, and if you have any craft alongs, she's just talking about gifts you're making for the holidays. So you might enter those in her little craft along. And if you've recently completed a sweater, you might want to quickly enter it in the String and Paper podcast group because that knit along ends November 30th. And my Sonia tea is finished. I don't know where to go. I'm just thrilled with it. It turned out really nicely. Couldn't be happier with it. It's really a nice sweater. As I said in my last podcast, I decided to add long sleeves, and those worked out pretty nicely. Now, you may be thinking, oh gosh, she's such a great knitter. Look at the sweater she made. It is a nice sweater. Thank you. But it didn't happen without a lot of effort. The first time I started it, I had knit it down to the sleeve separation about here. Realized it was going to be way too small. All this color work had to be pulled out and started over. So, that was a little frustrating, but I did it. And I got it to fit correctly. And then I started the sleeves. They took a while for me to get going on because I knew I wasn't sure how to do it. I didn't have a pattern for it. So I got down to about halfway on the first sleeve, decided it was too tight, had to pull all this color work, most of this color work out up to about here and start that over again. But I kept at it. I got it completed and I really like it. No, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But I really, really like it. My daughter really likes it. I think it's probably one of the most commercial looking sweaters I've ever made. I really like making my flax light sweaters because to me they're a lot of fun. Because I get to use up a lot of different yarns and colors and make big bold stripes, and they're really fun. But this one I get. It's very pretty. It's very attractive. It almost looks commercially made. And so, big thumbs up. Great pattern. If you like doing color work, the yoke actually went pretty quickly because color work can be fun. To me, it kind of is enjoyable. So I'm really glad this is finished. And speaking of flax light sweaters, I have started that Christmas one I kept threatening to do. The first yarn I'm using is by Leading Men Fiber Arts, and the colorway is called I'll Meet You by the Mistletoe. Seems like it should be I'll meet you under the mistletoe, but it's I'll meet you by the mistletoe. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. I really am looking forward to reaching the yarns that I dyed that I showed in my last episode. And I started a pair of socks for the son of a friend of mine. Hi, Kamel. Hi, Ayman, if you're watching. My friend Kamel, his son Ayman, has been ill for a while, and I thought to cheer him up, I would knit him some socks. These are the Porthos socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Now the pattern tells you to cast on 80 stitches for these. I only cast on 64, and I made some of these for Kamel, and he said they fit him. They fit Kim, so I'm assuming they would fit Kamel when I sent them to him. And so, 64 stitches. It's a really nice pattern. It's very attractive, and it looks like it's cabled, but it's not. It's all knit and purl, knit and purl. So it goes quickly. I recommend it. It's a very attractive pattern. This yarn is Peyton's Croy. I guess it's Peyton's, not Patton. I always say Patton. I think it's Peyton's Croy. Peyton's Croy Cadet Colors. Really pretty. I think they're going to be really nice. And you know, that's part of the problem of coming out here into wherever I am. I don't even know. I am on some road off a road. But I forgot to bring my Christmas socks for the 12 Socks of Christmas Knit Along by Love Sock Wool podcast. So I will have to insert a picture of them in here. The pattern is the Honeybee Dance Socks by Helen Stewart. And the yarn is called the Naughty List by Hannah Made It. I love the yarn. I'm doing the heels and toes and cuffs with just some scraps of yarn I had from other socks. The pattern is very, very pretty, but I'll tell you what, there's cabling every other row. And so for me, that's hard to focus on. So I mostly knit on these when there's no one else around, or I have some quiet time in the morning or the evening and the grandsons are in bed. So they're going slowly is what I'm trying to say. It's not a quick pattern for me. And I'm going to insert a picture here of Vanessa and Nico's socks. The pattern is By the Seine River by Donna Knits. And the yarn is Glacier by Big Sky Yarn Co. I finished these last April. Nico was born in July, and he and Vanessa just recently put their socks on, and we got a nice picture of him in them. Nico just turned 4 months a little bit ago, so he's really looking sweet. I also wanted to talk about a new craft group I went to. I went to a craft group at a brewery in Kalispell, the Kalispell Brewery, actually. There were 4 other women that came. It was only their second meeting, but it was a lot of fun. We drank beer, and 4 of us knitted, and the 5th person, who is a knitter, but she was doing some felted needlework, and I'll insert a little picture of the mouse the rabbit she pretty much completed while we were there. It was super cute. It was fun to watch her, but it was pretty painful to watch her poke her fingers. And some of the customers would come over and ask what we were doing, and they were all very interested in what she was doing. The needle felting was a big attraction for everybody. And a podcast I recently watched was Jaden of Purl Up and Dye. And it was her episode 23. What I found interesting was she really talked about that Making Things app, that new app that's out. She also talked about different patterns and hoarding patterns and excess in general and other knitting musings. And I found it was really interesting. And you know, I would recommend you go just at least watch that podcast that episode if you haven't seen it. I enjoyed listening to her. She had a lot of good things to say about those kind of things. It really made me think. Also, another podcast I watched that I have mentioned before is the String and Paper podcast. That's with Darcy. She is in Beijing, China, and she's planning something fun. She's planning a nerdy knit-along for January. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. She said it's a way to get your nerd out. If you're a Star Trek nerd or a Harry Potter nerd or a Doctor Who or whatever kind of nerdiness you want to indulge in, that'll be the knit-along for you. And I think that sounds like a lot of fun. And if you're wondering what we get up to here in Montana during the winter months, I'm inserting a few little videos for your enjoyment. Yes, Russell really has been enjoying the jump house. I've never been to one before, but I went once with them, and I'm sure I'll go again. And it was a lot of fun. It was really fun watching him run around. So it's starting to seriously snow out here. It's getting on my glasses and my nose, and so I think it's about time to wind this up. The off the porch segment is the the usual stuff. I try to mix it up for you a little bit. There's probably some animals that go across our property at night that we don't have any idea of and we don't get to see. So if we're not, actively looking out our window a lot, we probably miss some things. But anyway, there's some off the porch segment stuff. It is pretty out here. So as usual, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your comments. I did have a suggestion for my my mitten, my colorwork mitten, and my ring that keeps getting caught in it. And Sarah from Saltbox Knits podcast said I might want to sew a little piece of felt on the inside of that mitten so the ring can slide along on it. And I thought that was a really good suggestion. So thanks a lot, Sarah. I really appreciate that. I think I will try that, but I may redo that mitten first. Yeah, we'll see. So, as usual, goodbye from Montana. Thanks for watching. I hope I see you next time. Let's see what happens when we leave our jack-o'-lanterns out overnight. Yep, they've been pretty well destroyed. The deer love pumpkins. The turkeys came back. This time they were without the 2 adults, and they were short 1 young turkey. There were only 8 of them this time, so I'm assuming that somebody got nabbed by something.
Just like that.
Thanks
for
for
watching.
One more time.
watching.
One more time.
Thanks for
watching.
Go look at Poopa. Look at Poopa.
Oh.
Does that work?
I also come.
Hey, you want to look at your sweater?
I don't want to put my dad on.
Okay, do you want to look at it? Now we're connected.
No, I didn't like it.
Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah,
What do you want to say?
I want to say this. I want to say.
Thank you, Russell. You do a good job on my podcast.